Hello everybody, Chris Wood here. Welcome to my channel and thank you for tuning in, anybody that may, on this Sunday, November 6th. I am just on here for a few minutes to say hello and hopefully for anybody that tunes in to say I hope you're having a good day. I also want to say that what has taken place with me over the course of 3 years, it is done. I no longer have any feeling in my head. I no longer feel my own consciousness. I no longer have any brain stimulation. It feels like my damn head is separated from my body. I am being broadcasted through 24/7. I have radiation, EMFs, and other stuff going through my body from remote neuromonitoring use on me, which is police and military tech in use since the 60s, designed for invasive surveillance and also on victims and also to destroy a person's central nervous system. It is a nano microchip implant. I have proven its existence and how it works. Cell phone, computer, Wi-Fi. Lennox and Addington, Ontario provincial police are using it and using it criminally. I am the victim of revenge retaliation for speaking of their crimes since 2019. I have been injured, I have been tortured, I have been sex assaulted, kidnapped, medically blacklisted, medical treatment refusals. I have been brain split. I have proven it. I have video on my channel that shows it. I have been seriously brain injured. I am being numbed down to be dumbed down constantly 24/7 from this. And the ones responsible that are using this on me and guilty of attempted murder, and the person that I have for my thumbnail, his name is Blair Hardy. He is a sex offender. He is Bandido MC. He is a rapist. He is a drug trafficker. He is guilty of lacing drugs to commit murders, to make through addicts, to make it look like it was just another addict or junkie that was getting bad drugs, and as a result, they died and overdosed from it. But it was done intentionally with the intent to commit that murder through that, to make it look like it was just another accident by a drug addict getting bad drugs. Isn't that right, Blair Hardy? There is also William Bill Wooldridge, last known and used name. He is Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain. He is a harbored sex offender. He is a serial killer. He is a child stalker. He and Billy he and Blair Hardy are guilty of stalking my mother back in 2019, late 2019 and early 2020. They were using remote neuromonitoring on her. I was speaking of this, saying that it was happened and what the result would be. And what the result was because of my mother's age, the EMFs and radiation that it causes, it caused tumors, it caused cancer, and it caused her death. And it was with 100% premeditated, conspired with intent to commit, done through Spencer Mills, Lennox and Addington, Ontario provincial police, and STACEY, mental health and addictions worker, who told him that me, I, and he were switched at birth. They told him that he is also my father. How is that possible that we're switched at birth and he also my dad, but he also thinks he is Harry Potter at the same time? So, with that being said, he is highly psychotic. He is in a permanent mess psychosis. He is clinically diagnosed as delusions of grandeur. I am 50 years old, by the way, and he is in his 70s. So, as far as us being switched at birth, there's no way, chance in hell. And he sure the hell is not my father. I know who my dad is, and I watched my dad commit suicide when I was a kid. So, you go to fucking hell for that. I get numbed down to be dumbed down on a daily basis through this. I am medically blacklisted. I am medically discriminated against to prevent help, to assure this crime against me. My full right side of my body right now as I'm doing this is getting pumped with air going through me. It is doing damage to it's doing damage to internally to me. I've lost my right lung. I've lost my right kidney. I have serious internal damages. When I eat, my food goes to my right side of my body, not my left, because of it being injured and damaged. My skull from having remote neuromonitoring use on me from 50 different people who are using this in Napanee and passing it around, doing this to me. It's been shortened, it's been flattened, it's been rounded, it's been elongated, it's been widened, it's blowing up like a balloon. I have shown it, I have proven it, I have been called a liar. I would go to the hospital. I would tell them my head is numb and deforming, and I was not being taken serious because of the lies against me. They were thinking that I was just there with a headache or that I was there on drugs to dry out. I do not do drugs. I am against them, and everybody knows me, knows I'm serious, knows I'm against them. I've lost too many friends and family from it. I at one time did do them. Back in 2012, I overdosed on what was called Dilaudid, which is pretty much a synthetic heroin. And I overdosed from it. And I'm actually thankful that I did. It happened in Kingston. I'm thankful it happened because that was my wake-up call. I became very, 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 very spiritual after that. This happened in 2012. I pretty much died. And it changed me 100%. I had a very serious spiritual awakening. I had a consciousness awakening. I was I was very well awake, consciously in thought, in action, and aware of everything. This is how much it was with me. And then back in 2019, after I started talking about the crimes taking place here in Napanee, the human homeless trafficking, and the homeless exploitation and other crimes for monetary gain through the Morning Star mission here in Napanee, Ontario. I was at my previous address and I went to see the woman STACEY at mental health for another woman here in Napanee who was causing trouble, and to get her help, I went there and was telling her what was going on. She started saying what would happen if the cops showed up. She also said that she knew me when she doesn't, and I still like to know what she meant by that. and she was making accusations, and I didn't like her attitude, so I got up and I walked out, and she didn't like that. And next thing you know, I'm at my previous address the next day, and around lunchtime, next thing you know, David Smith shows up. He's a priest, pastor, whatever. It was at the Morning Star Mission. He was the one that was using the church as for the charitable thing, as a pass for that. Using him for that part. But he showed up, he delivered me food. I was on my front porch at my previous address, and I was eating. 5 minutes after he left, maybe 10, Spencer Mills shows up, Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. He shows up at my door. He shows up with a guy from mental health, pretty much to let me know and tell me that if I did not stop talking about what was taking place out of the mission and everything else, there would be serious consequences. And he was 100% right. Then I was on my front porch again shortly after that in August of 2019, and ex-O.P.P chief or commander, whatever, now High Commissioner for O.P.P, Ontario Provincial Police, went by in a Jeep Wrangler. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. It was on the corner of Center and Bridge Street at the time, at the lights, stoplights. And the black truck pulled up and they pointed something at me. I seen it. The person had black hair, but I didn't see their face. They pointed and they shot something that went into my right ear. And after that, that is when I started having my medical problems. Excuse me for a second. Oh, I had to grab a hot chocolate. I started having medical problems after that. I was wondering what was happening to me. So I went to the hospital, and then I finally got an appointment to get a CAT scan done November of 2019 of that year. When I went to the hospital with my mother at the time and another, because she was still alive then, and another person, we're sitting there waiting for my appointment. Next thing you know, STACEY walked right by us, the woman from mental health and addictions. She walked right by us and was staring me down. I come to find out later she was there saying that she was there for me, for anxiety, and all a bunch of other bullshit. I then go in and get my CAT scans done, and I was asking about results, and I was told that I needed medication and that I would not understand the results and everything else, and acting like she knew me like I was an idiot because of her talking to her girlfriend STACEY. Then, not satisfied, I wasn't given my results. It took me almost a year and a half before I got them, and then I was given the wrong ones, and I can prove it. Me not getting any satisfaction of what happened and being treated like shit, telling automatically I need medication. So then I go to Kingston General Hospital, KGH it's called, and trying to find out what's going on. The next thing you know, they apparently get a phone call stating that I was suicidal. 100% bullshit in every way, shape, and form. Like I said, I watched my own father commit suicide. I am life. I'm not death in any way, shape, or form. So 100% bullshit lie. Because I had my long hair at the time and I have tattoos, it was believed to be true. And because whoever it came from, and I still would like to know, and they need to prove that against, they need to prove that lie because it's not true. I then went to Belleville General Hospital and I seen a French doctor. He was working there at the time. He had black hair, beard, mustache. He first words out of his mouth is, "I seen your file. What do you want us to do for you?" He didn't do nothing. That was a waste of time. And then I started going back and forth to Lennox and Ennis County General Hospital. And I was either not being seen, or when I was being seen, I was being treated like a piece of shit. And because I was not taking it, because I am 50 years old, and I was not putting up with it, being belittled, having laughed in my face at, being treated like garbage. And then when I get up and walk out, it's being made to turn around like I am the one that's causing the problems and I am the one refusing medical treatment. And that's not the case in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to be treated like shit and take it because their doctor's going on lies against me. So then I went back to Kingston General Hospital. I was always getting, "We seen your file, we seen your file, we seen your file," not knowing what the fuck is going on here. But I went back to Kingston General Hospital, and they conveniently got another call stating once again that I'm on drugs, which I don't do, which, as I just stated, but because of my long hair and the time at work and my monetary status. And that was done to prevent me getting help and proof of what had taken place with me after being shot in the ear, because after that, that is when it started. I had not had any medical problems, neurological or any other thing going on with me in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, I was doing good, learning how to heal myself. And then after that happened, so that's when all of my problems started. The lies, the cover ups, the time buying, arrest refusals, going back and forth to the hospitals and doctors. Even with proof, I would go to a hospital. And I had one there recently, not long ago, a Dr. Sue come in. She told me that my hat fit, nothing was wrong with me, and to go home. And the woman looked like she was only about 15 years old, obviously psychic, knowing and can internally tell what's going on with a person. Full. I'm getting stuff coming up in my throat right now. I get fluid that comes up in my body, up around here by the scar on my chin, which I got when I was a kid. I was stabbed in the throat, and it just missed my jugular. It comes up through that, up to this point here in my face, and then it will move around to under my tongue. It's in between my skin, like it's under my tongue, and it's like it's separated, and then I'll start getting what feels a lot of water going through me. I also get a lot of pressure on the top roof of my mouth inside. And I'm getting, because of being broadcasted through, I get hypoxia from this as well, which is causing brain cell death. And every single bit of this could be proven if I could actually get medical help and attention. The doctors here are proven at Lennox and Huntington County General Hospital, the ones named Dr. McGregor, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Barton, Dr. Tatiana P. A.K. Margie B., Dr. Joy Hadley, Ones who discriminate against me is Dr. Ambimbola, Dr. Sue, Dr. Fardell. There's triage nurses, Terry, David, and Tanya involved, and Paladin security guard, a fat guy, who was advised to kick me out last time through by administration for apparently me causing trouble. No, the only trouble I have been causing, which wasn't trouble, is me trying to get medical help, me trying to get my life saved, me being treated like a piece of shit, me not taking it, and then me being falsely charged by the hospital and doctors and police in an attempt to deflect crimes against me for wanting them arrested and charged for 3 years for crimes that was done to get my blood, my prints, my pictures, signatures, everything that was needed. Let it be known, Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario provincial police are guilty of murdered and missing as well. Human trafficking victim, Ontario provincial police, I would fight it because it's most likely false. I can prove it. They done it to me, right? Spencer Mills, to get my blood and piss, kidnapped 24 hours after asking for help against crimes from them and doctors and everyone else on wanting legal and criminal help against them. 24 hours afterwards, I was kidnapped through false pretenses of incompetency from SHELLEY HAFFNER under the bullshit lie of just that, and that was done to shut me up in an attempt to get me kept. They also got my blood and piss that night when they done a test on me, come back negative for drugs as well, which they still got. They also got my original CAT scans too that was given by Tatiana to STACEY and given from STACEY to O.P.P to Spencer Mills are in possession of my real ones. They're guilty of many serious fucking crimes. They're guilty of my mother's death. They're guilty of doing this to me, and I am the end of my bloodline. The longer this goes on, and I'm dumbed down to be dumbed down, they're just going to continue to get away with it. I am the end of my bloodline. So, with me and my mother gone, they are murdering an entire bloodline through me for their revenge retaliation for speaking of their crimes, using inmates, using drug-fed co-offenders such as Tyler Lake, Javenal Stein. Billy Wooldridge is the 149 Center Street, North Napanee, Ontario. Hells Angels leader captain, now bald, glasses, did have a goatee, and was going by the name Billy Wooldridge. Not sure what he's going by now. And then Blair Hardy, the one I have the picture of, he is also a rapist. He raped a woman. He attempted to, or he raped a woman named Olivia. Sorry, he raped a woman who is now deceased, gone from a drug overdose from fentanyl in this building where I am living. Not in my apartment, but in a different apartment in this building where I'm living. And now this person's conveniently gone. He's guilty of rape. He is guilty of drug lacing and overdoses to cause murder. He's guilty of the murder of my mother with Billy Wooldridge. Guilty of my guilty of my attempted identity theft. Guilty of financial thefts. He was also collecting welfare in this building and not living here either. So he's guilty of disability frauds, welfare frauds, financial thefts and frauds, and many other serious crimes here. And they are all getting away with it. I've been trying, my legal rights have been taken. my human rights have been taken. Not that there ever has been any in Canada. That's all been bullshit lip service unless you have a lot of money and can afford to pay for it. Then and only then you'll have human rights, and then that's when you'll have somebody actually help you fight for your life and those rights that you were given for being a human and being alive, that these pieces of garbage are trying so hard to take away from everybody. But I am gonna show the back of my head. It's feeling the whole right side of my head right here is blowing up. It feels like by a air or something going through my head. This radiation and everything else too is also screwing my teeth up bad as well as rotting the shit right out of them. But my head is seriously deformed right now, especially in the back of my head. And I have a spot on the back of my head that I've had since all of this began, and it will not heal up, and that's where I get a lot of stuff going through me. My skull's been seriously deformed and flattened. Excuse me. My entire identity is pretty much gone from, and I have proven it and can prove it 100% of the changes that have been taking place with me. I've probably lost approximately 3 inches off of my skull from being injured and deformed by 50 different people using or doing this to me. So, uh, let it be known that I am being murdered, and it could be proven, it can be proven. And this is not any kind of mental illness, and I do not want that kind of bullshit to be going around. I am not schizophrenic in any way. I don't have hallucinations. I don't hear voices. I don't have imaginary friends. I have no delusions. I don't think that I'm somebody that I'm not. I'm not multiple personalities. I'm one person. But I do have many living through me, and it's being done criminally. And I have proven it and can proven it, and that's through the remote neuro monitoring. Like I said, it's for invasive illegal surveillance. This is how they are using it criminally on children for sexual purposes. This is how human trafficking is taking place as well. This is how they are using this shit to mentally screw their victims, to get away with crimes, to cause long term brain and memory problems in their victims, and all getting away with it. So, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jason Two Step Benalstein. Oh, excuse me. I'm getting the air pumped through my body all the time too, and I cannot even gain any weight because of all my food and everything going to the right side of my body as well. And even right now, the whole right side, my whole right leg is swelled up from my hip right down to my foot. It's filled up with something, and it's not water. It's not fluid of any kind. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's not water. It's not fluid. I'm having problems walking, and because of my brain being so screwed, my balance is completely gone on me. I'm like I have no stimulation in my head whatsoever. Nothing. I could take earbuds and put it in my ears and turn it up full blast, and I would hear it, but I would not have any stimulation in any way, shape, or form. Nothing. And that is not normal. So, anyway, I am sitting here having my hot chocolate. Other than what has taken place with me and it pretty much being done in one way or another, everybody involved, I swear to God, you will all pay criminally for what you've done to me and what you've done to my mother and what you are probably doing to many others here at Napanee and getting away with it. Using your badges, your positions, your lies, your credentials, your false guise of law to be above suspicion of the crimes that you are committing, especially when it's done against the poor, homeless, elderly, disabled, where you know once your lies are cast against them, there's no chance for them to get help, especially there's no way to pay for it. And you know that, you're very well aware of it. But also remember too, human trafficking happens in every community. Human trafficking can happen in more ways than just the perceived one way. It is an ageless and a genderless crime. It can affect everybody and anybody at any given time. And now, with the 21st century and a lot of tech being used, and not people are aware of it or even willing to take the time to actually try to research anything, even when given and shown to them to prove that it exists. Billy Wooldridge himself, the alleged Hells Angels Ontario chapter MC, was stalking children daily at Tim Hortons. When I finally got his picture, he was doing it for sex slavery for the ex-O.P.P chief or commander, now commissioner, whatever he is now. When I got his picture, he actually went into hiding for a little while. And then he reappeared living right across the road from my previous address. I am going to get off of here. I just want to say that I hope everybody has a good day. And this is also these people are serious psychotic as well because they are also involved in animal abuse as well. They are involved with killing animals as well. So it is not just people. They are all highly psychotic and highly untouchable. And once again, it is Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills 14716. A woman from mental health and addictions was Napanee here, Daily Tea Company, and now Kingston. There's a Shelley HAFFNER. There's staff sergeants 2019 and 2021. Ex-chief, like I said, commander now, whatever, commissioner of O.P.P. There's Shannon CORK, there's Robert Kane, there's Robert Lucas. The doctors involved that are co-committing criminally and negligently with them, and they need arresting, they need charging. Dr. Tatiana V, aka Dr. Marky V. She is the one that pretty much signed my death certificate, getting me medically blacklisted and discriminated against, assuring everything against me and to prevent help and proof of the crimes. She is also Stacy's girlfriend. Dr. Hadley, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. McGregor. They have used other doctors against me to discriminate against me. So I would walk out in Dr. Ambimbola, Dr. Sue, Dr. Fardell. There's also triage nurses Terry, David, and Tanya involved, and a Paladin Security is also involved. He is a guy approximately 25 years old and roughly 400 to 500 pounds. There is Billy Wooldridge on 49 Center Street North. The one that believes that we were switched at birth, and the one that believes that he is my dad, but also thinks he's Harry Potter at the same time. That's what drugs do to you. That's what meth does to you. It burns a hole in your brain and keeps you up 24/7 without any sleep, and then it causes hallucinations and delusions. And because of it burning holes in your brain, it becomes a permanent psychosis called a meth psychosis. People actually do this shit. Like, wow. But anyway, I hope this is seen. I gotta get ready to go out. I gotta go get my doggy some food to get his belly fed, and I gotta figure out what I myself am going to have for dinner tonight. Uh, I hope everybody has a good day. Be a friend, help another if you can, and always do it without an agenda. Do it because it needs to be done. Humans for humans once more. Love all, hate none. Be safe, everybody.